The Dyatlov Pass Incident, the expedition. In January of 1959, 9 young hikers set out into the snowy Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, a brilliant 23-year-old engineering student from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. Each member of the group was experienced, tough, and prepared for the brutal winter trek. Their goal was to reach Ural Mountain, a journey that would earn them the highest level of Soviet mountaineering certification. But they never arrived. What happened to them on the frozen slopes of Kholat Syakhl? In the language of the native Mansi people, it means the mountain of the dead. And this would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. The camp. On February 1st, 1959, the group made camp high on the slope of Kholat Syakhl. The weather was bitter, winds howled across the ridge, temperatures plummeted well below freezing, and visibility was poor. Instead of retreating to the safety of the forest below, Dyatlov chose to pitch their tent on the exposed slope, perhaps to test themselves, perhaps to save time. That night, something happened, something so terrifying that 9 skilled hikers slashed their way out of their own tent and fled into the snowstorm without boots, coats, or even proper clothing. They would never return. Weeks later, a search team located the abandoned campsite. What they found defied reason. The tent was discovered half buried in snow, cut open from the inside. Inside were boots, food, journals, and clothing. Everything the hikers would need to survive. Down the slope, near the edge of the forest, 2 bodies were found under a cedar tree. They were barefoot, dressed in only their undergarments. Evidence showed they had tried to light a fire. Their hands and feet burned in desperation. 3 more bodies were found between the tree and the tent, as if they had died trying to crawl back. The last 4 weren't discovered until spring thaw, buried under several feet of snow in a ravine. Their condition stunned investigators. 2 had massive chest fractures, the force compared to a car crash. 1 had a crushed skull. Lyudmila Dubinina, the only woman in that group, was missing her eyes and her tongue. And yet, strangely, there were no signs of struggle, no defensive wounds. The injuries appeared to have been inflicted by some tremendous pressure from within. What could have driven 9 experienced hikers to flee into the night, only to die in such bizarre circumstances? Avalanche. The official Soviet explanation was an avalanche. Perhaps snow shifted onto their tent, forcing them to cut their way out and run for safety. But there were problems. The slope was not steep enough, and later expeditions found the campsite intact years later, suggesting no avalanche had occurred. Military testing. The Soviet Union was conducting secret military experiments in remote regions at the time. Some believe the hikers stumbled into a test zone, possibly parachute mines or radiation experiments. Indeed, traces of radiation were reportedly found on their clothing, and some witnesses in nearby villages claimed to see strange glowing orbs in the sky that night. Infrasound. A scientific theory suggests that the wind around the mountain created a rare phenomenon known as the Kármán vortex street. This produces infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that can cause panic, nausea, and hallucinations. If true, the hikers may have been driven into a frenzy, fleeing their tent in irrational terror. Paranormal or unknown forces. For some, the Dyatlov Pass incident is not just a tragedy, it's something more disturbing. Consider the details. Several bodies were found with horrific internal injuries, yet no external trauma, as though crushed by invisible pressure. Lyudmila Dubinina's missing tongue and eyes fueled darker speculation, injuries that seemed surgical, deliberate, or otherworldly. Then there were the reports from villagers miles away. That same night, strange glowing orbs were seen floating in the sky over the mountains, silent and pulsing with an eerie light. Were they military flares, meteors, or something else entirely? Some researchers have connected these lights to the hikers' deaths, suggesting they witnessed something they were never meant to see. Others whisper of abduction, experiments, or encounters with forces beyond our understanding. The Mansi people, native to the region, had long called the slope Kholat Syachel, the mountain of the dead. They avoided it, warning of curses, spirits, and strange energies that lingered in the snow. To them, the hikers' deaths were not an accident, but the mountain reclaiming what it was owed. Even stranger, when rescuers examined the hikers' clothing, traces of radiation were discovered. Not enough to be explained by natural causes, but enough to raise suspicion. Was this fallout from secret Soviet tests, or a sign of something unearthly? Some paranormal researchers believe the hikers fell victim to a force of nature we don't yet understand. A violent burst of energy, a distortion of time, even a tear between dimensions. To them, the Dyatlov Pass was not just a place, it was a doorway. And what came through that doorway left 9 young souls frozen in the snow. The legacy. The case was quickly closed by Soviet authorities, the deaths attributed vaguely to a compelling natural force. Families were left with grief and questions, and the mystery only deepened in the decades that followed. In 2019, Russia reopened the investigation, concluding that a slab avalanche caused the disaster. But many remain unconvinced. Too many details, too many unanswered questions linger. 9 young lives ended on that frozen slope. Their story has become legend, a haunting reminder that the wilderness still holds secrets, and that some mysteries may never be solved. The Dyatlov Pass incident isn't just about death, it's about the unknown, about the line between what we can explain and what will forever remain buried beneath snow and silence. Some mysteries are never truly meant to be solved, but that doesn't stop us from theorizing what happened to these 9 lost souls. Join us next time as Illuminate Stories continues the exploration into the unknown.